Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm Aaron Lewis and today I have some very exciting news to share with all you reptile lovers. Now for those of you who do follow my Instagram account, at Aaron Lewis, you haven't already checked it out, or you guys do watch my YouTube short videos, you guys would have already met my newest reptile to the family. But for those of you who haven't, I'd like you all to meet my new Eastern Blue Tongue Skink. Now, I'm just going to put it out there, I don't know what the gender is, but I'm probably going to be calling it a she, he throughout this video just because I'm still uncertain. I haven't named the lizard yet just because once again, I'm not certain what the gender is. So I'm going to wait till it's a bit older so I'm able to sex it and hopefully be able to come up with a good name for it. But for also those of you who don't know, in Australia we do have to keep reptile licenses if you want to own any reptiles. So with the Eastern Blue Tongues, you have a Class A license. It's the same one that I have for my bearded dragon in the background. With the Eastern Blue Tongues, they are the smaller variety of blue tongue skinks that you can get. There are Northerns and Centrals, which tend to be a bit larger compared to the Easterns. So I did want an Eastern for that specific reason, just because I really don't have space for a larger reptile enclosure. The reptile enclosure she is in is the same size and dimensions as the bearded dragon one here behind us. So it's a fairly large enclosure. In US terms, it's a 75 gallon. So they reckon the minimum for a bearded dragon and blue tongue skink is, I believe it's 50 gallons, which if you ask me is definitely way too small. They do get quite large. She'll get probably the same size as the bearded dragon will get, so probably about that long, which is fairly big, so they do need a lot of space to move around. That's why I went with the larger enclosure for her. Exact same size as the bearded dragon one, but we will take a look at that more towards the end of this video. But I just wanted to show you guys how cute this new blue tongue skink is. It's amazing how I just started off with a bearded dragon and now I absolutely love reptiles. I never thought that I'd actually be keeping reptiles. I am excited to share the journey of this little skink growing up and being able to be featured on the channel. She is my first blue tongue skink I've ever owned. I hardly actually see these guys in the natural environment outside, just because they are known to be hiders, so they'll hide under shrubbery, leaves, if you have any big bushes outside, or fallen down trees with hollow bits inside, they will hide in there. They're more known as a scavenger, and they cannot climb trees either, so they will mainly stay on the floor, or they might be crawling over logs and stuff that might be in their way. But apart from that, they have very small stubby legs, so they can't really climb over too big a log. So that's why you do have to provide a lot of floor space in their enclosure and also a lot of hiding space. But we'll look more at that when I take over the enclosure in a sec, but just wanted to quickly show you guys an up-close view of her. I'm hoping it's focusing. I'll try and look at my watch to make sure it is. For those of you who don't know, with the iPhone you can hook up your watch so it shows the footage on the watch, so you can just make sure that you are in view at all times. Mine's glitching out a bit at the moment, but I'm pretty sure I'm in shot. But yeah, she is very pretty. Blue tongue skinks are renowned for their blue tongue, which is why they are named that. She is constantly flicking it out, as you will probably see. She's going to do it. Of course she's not going to do it now. She's doing it throughout the whole video, but she's going to stop now that I mention it, of course. But I think I will put her back in her enclosure and we'll go look at how everything's set up in there. It's not a ecosystem habitat by any shot. I do plan on doing that with both the enclosures in the future though, but it is quite expensive to do that, just because you need specific lighting to make sure the plants grow. You need a specific substrate that doesn't have any fertilizers in, but also has, I think it's like worm manure and stuff in, because that is safe for lizards. So it is quite an extensive journey, but I do plan on making both these setups bioactive in the very near future. I'm currently saving for that at the moment. So we'll put her back, we'll check out her habitat, and you guys can tell me what you think of it. So this here is her enclosure. As you can see, it is right underneath the bearded dragon's enclosure, the exact same size and dimensions. I absolutely love these Reptile One enclosures because they are very sturdy. They do have a lot of inlets so you can put through cables and stuff. I usually just shove the cables through the lid though, just because I can't be bothered to mess around with that. It's a lot more easier for me to just shove them through the top, and the lid still closes, so it's still safe. Not that a Blue Tongue Skink will be able to climb out the top, but it's still good just to make sure the lid's safe. Maybe just so the dogs can't get in, even though I don't see them being able to climb in through the top, just because it's very slim there. But I'll walk you through the enclosure. We do have a lot of fake plants in here, and as you can see here, we do have a UVB light on this enclosure. Now, it is very debated in the reptile hobby whether Blue Tongue Skinks actually need a UVB light. Theoretically, they don't. Blue Tongue Skinks still thrive without them, but it is always better to give them a UVB light, just because in Australia there is a very strong UVB rays when they're outside, so it is beneficial for them to have it, just because in their natural habitat they do get a lot of UVB light. So I thought I would provide it for them. Same with my bearded dragon, but it is absolutely detrimental for bearded dragons to have it, but with Blue Tongue Skinks, not so much. But for the bedding here, we just have some sugarcane mulch. Now, I did want to get Yuki mulch, which is eucalyptus trees obviously mulched up, but unfortunately at the moment it is extremely hard to find Yuki mulch. It is, yeah, I looked everywhere for it, so unfortunately this is what we're going with for the moment. And then just underneath it, there's just a fine sand, so if she does want to bury down into it, she can. She absolutely loves burying into the sugarcane. I actually lose her quite a lot, just because I do have a very thick layer for her to bury into it, just because they do love to do it. And back here we also have a hide for her to go into, which is just hidden by this fake leafy vine, just to hide it, because it's not the most appealing thing, as you can see there. Might actually cover that now with a bit of sugarcane mulch, just because I don't really like looking at it. I like the more naturalistic look, even though it is filled with fake plants, but let's not talk about that right now. And here we just have a water dish. We have her heating element, which comes on at night. This is an Arcadia deep heat projector. So I have this set for 26 degrees, so when it goes below that, this will automatically switch on and keep her enclosure nice and heated throughout the night, just so she doesn't go into hibernation or anything, because she is still fairly young, where it's not ideal for them to go into hibernation. So I don't want her to feel like it's going to be quite cold and her go into hibernation. So that's why we have that in here, but either way I'd still make sure we have one of those in here, just keep the temperature in here very nice. We do have a thermometer here. We also have the thermometers here. I have more thermometers over here. This one is the Blue Tongue thermometer, and it just shows the humidity in it. Oh wait, no, sorry, this one is the Blue Tongue thermometer. I forgot for a minute. So this one's the Blue Tongue thermometer. Unfortunately, I can't really control humidity, just because it has been raining a lot where I live, so it is very high humidity. But with Eastern Blue Tongue Skinks, they generally don't like a very high humidity. This is more for the Indonesian Blue Tongue Skinks. This would be perfect humidity for them actually. But the thermometer for the humidity is just down the back here. Don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but it's just down the back corner there. So we do have a lot of thermometers in both reptile enclosures, just because I do like to keep a very accurate temperature variation. So we have a probe there, a probe at the back over there, and then we have two down there, and obviously the one in the back corner there, which is the hygrometer. So it is very important that you do pay attention to your reptile's thermometer in the enclosure. And obviously with the two metal ones over there, they control this big heat lamp here. So when it reaches too hot on her basking area, they will automatically switch off. So I have that set to, I believe it's 34 or 33 degrees Celsius. Not Fahrenheit, because that would be practically freezing. But she does like to bask underneath that in the morning time, as you can see just at the back there. Then we have the universal rock, which used to be in the bearded dragon's enclosure, but I actually went for dragonstone in here instead now, just to provide a more naturalistic look in there, which I think looks amazing. I've just chopped down some local fallen down tree shrubs in the Australian bush and just sort of prop them up here, give a bit of height to the enclosure, just so your eye's not drawn down. But apart from that, it's pretty much just all fake plants and just, you know, a fake hide there. But it still looks nice if you ask me. A lot of shrubbery for her to hide under. She likes to bury underneath the ground. And we just have her food mix here, which is just cut up vegetables, some cat mixture. Now I went with cat mixture just because with dog foods, you will find that they have more grain in. Even if it says grain free, they do have a little bit of grain in there. So it's always safer to go with cat mix for a blue tongue skink, just to make sure that they are getting that meaty protein that they need in their diet, because they're not really grain eaters. So that's why I try to stay away from dog food, and the person that I bought it off also said to stay away from dog food. So if you are planning on getting blue tongue skink, make sure you stick to a high quality wet cat food diet over a wet dog food diet. And then we just have some greens there, which is some lettuce. Really, the blue tongue skink at the moment only eats crickets, a bit of her veggies here, and the cat mixture. She's not a big fan of lettuce and that. She's really not even a big fan of the veggie mix, but I still put it in there because I like to give her choices. And of course you can't forget the water dish at the background here. Now, as I've said in previous reptile videos, I like to have 2 water dishes in the enclosure at all times. The one that's closest to this side of the enclosure would be the hotter water dish. So if the blue tongue skink, for instance, wanted a more hotter drink, she can go to that water bowl. She can even float through that water bowl and get a bit wet if she wants to. I don't really see her doing that, but for the most part I do see her drinking out of that one, so she might prefer the warmer temperature water. And then in this corner we just have the cooler one, which will stay at probably more like 25 degrees. That one's more like 30 to 35 degrees Celsius. So I like to give them that variety in choice, just so she gets to choose what water dish she wants to drink out of. I'll try and show you guys her in a little enclosure here. To be honest, I actually hardly see her because she's always hiding underneath the shrubbery, which, as I said earlier, it's quite common for blue tongue skinks. So hopefully when she does mature a bit and get a bit bigger, she'll feel less scared and come out more. Well everyone, that is all for today's video. I do hope that you guys enjoyed coming along with me and meeting the newest reptile to the family. Now, if you guys haven't already, make sure you do hit that subscribe button so you can stay tuned for more content just like this. Now, I am very sorry that I haven't been posting a lot lately. I am trying to get out as much as I possibly can, but for those of you who don't know, I am back at McDonald's as a full-time manager, so I'm working 40 plus hours a week, and I'm just feeling drained a lot of the time, so I'm not really having very much energy to come home, sit down in front of the camera and film a video for you guys. But I am trying to keep up with community posts and shorts videos, just to keep you guys engaged. You know, I'm still here, I'm still trying to get out content. If you guys haven't already, make sure you go also check out the members only section of this channel. It's only $3.99 per month. It just goes towards helping keep the pets fed, or even maybe future projects like making these 2 enclosures bioactive. And you guys also get something out of it too by seeing little bits of extra content that the general public wouldn't. So if you haven't already, make sure you go join that. But apart from that, I'll see you in a future video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye!